If you are in a job where you feel frustrated every day or almost every day, where you don't learn anymore and where stress outweighs a few moments of satisfaction, and where you project yourself into the future and you don't like what you see, now these are signs of a need of a job change or even a career change. Now, there are other signals that are perhaps a little bit more positive, and these come from the desire to prosper. That is, when you feel that you want to create more value and you know that you can do so much better. Now, in this podcast or video episode, if you're watching the video, we're going to talk about mental preparation to make a change and to design a meaningful career. Now, by the way, there are many people listening to us who are in Spain and in the United States. So, hi everybody, it's really nice to talk to you. And I know that you're watching this video, so it's really, really nice to know. My name is Jessica Rojas, Liscano. I'm an international career coach. And in my work, I accompany thousands of professionals who make important job changes, and some of them actually make very radical ones. So it is definitely a pleasure to share with you all of these powerful tips so that if you need a change, you can do this with confidence. Now, in this space, I'm dedicated 100% to you here and now. So take advantage of it. Now, where does this mental preparation begin? Now, for the basics, okay, let's start with the basic things. Now, understanding that career change is a natural change. All areas of our life are dynamic, including our professional life. Absolutely everything that surrounds us, people, systems, societies, companies, everything, is part of a complex dynamic, and we are part of it. Now, what remains static becomes obsolete. It loses its validity and it does not generate value anymore. Now, if we understand this, we can understand that our professional life cannot be static either, and that reinventing ourselves is normal and actually sometimes is necessary. Now, what direction to take? Now, we can think of a professional evolution from two different perspectives. This will make it clearer in which direction to go, okay? Now, the first thing is what we call a vertical evolution. Here we're talking about staying in the same company or in the same group and growing with it. It is maybe adopting new technologies, getting new challenges in innovation and differentiation as well under the same structure. It is being part of a known system that allows you to take professional steps individually under the same industry, the same sector, or the same corporate culture. Now, in this sense, the direction to take is related to internal mobility opportunities that the company can offer. One option could be to consider a different function, or maybe not the same function, or do the same function but in a different area. That's one option. If we're talking about a large corporation, you can also consider changing subsidiaries, where there are obviously different challenges and new things to learn necessarily in that place. Now, there is another option, which is expatriation, which is great option to get to know not only other countries and cultures, but also it creates flexibility, and then you can provide best practices as well. Now, the second perspective I told you about is what we call making horizontal evolution. In this context, we're talking about the professional evolution of the individual, regardless of the structure or the company in which the person is. Now, taking this direction implies analyzing new opportunities that are obviously outside the company and where we are right now, okay, or what we already know is expanding, okay? It allows you to go broader, to broader horizons, almost unlimited. I would say it depends on your creativity and how far you want to go. And also by making use of transferable skills, things that you have developed throughout your life and that you can use in any profession. You can consider a different role, you can consider a different area outside of your current company, you can do anything. Now, we cannot leave out the possibility of creating your own business or your own practice, perhaps in the same area, or maybe you want to change your area as well, trying something new. Now, how to choose a new direction? Now, Dr. John DeMartini is an expert in human behavior. I love his books. And he explains that each person has a different set of values. And if we act around those values, we can develop our inner genius and become leaders in that area that is part of our highest values. Now, in professional coaching, one of the pillars that we identify and we definitely encourage you to analyze is your personal values. Now, this approach is what ensures a solid decision and a stable foundation to build a successful career. So I honestly believe that understanding your personal values and your priorities should be the first thing or the first step to take. Now, how can you do this? Obviously, in a superficial level, but you can start asking yourself questions like, what is the most important thing for me today? What inspires me the most today? What are my drivers? Now, the second step will be to analyze your skills. Now, these skills can be specific, that is, those that are very strictly necessarily for a job, for example, some techniques, methodologies, the use of a certain software, etc. Or you can also check the transversal competences, or also called transferable skills. Those are useful in any position. Now, it is important to be clear about what skills you have and what are your strengths when it comes to reposition yourself. And it is also worth making a list of them and choosing those that you think you really are the best and you enjoy the most. Now, to identify your skills, you can ask yourself things like, what am I good at? Or what do I understand very quickly? What comes naturally to me? Now, one last step, but equally important, is to define your work preferences. What type of work you want to do, in which environment? Is it in the office or working by remote? What are your salary expectations? What are the possibilities of evolution? Is it close to your home and maybe you want to do some mobility? What are these things? Now, at this stage, you can ask yourself, what would be my ideal job like? Or what do I need in my job to feel good? Now, last thing on this video or in this audio, tips to take the first step with confidence. I couldn't finish this episode without leaving you with the tips for success. Now, when it comes to career progression and designing a meaningful career, there are 4 things that can definitely help you to take this step safely. Number 1 is to dare. Our imagination allows us to expand our horizons, to explore beyond our limits. Planning then comes to show us the necessary steps that must be taken to reach that desired goal, but what really generates change is taking action. To dare to do something is to take action. Every day, do something that brings you closer to your goal. It doesn't matter if it is a small step or if it is something huge, but do something. Number 2, destroy your limiting beliefs. We all have beliefs and ideas about ourselves that limit our range of action. Now, these limiting beliefs can bring down any project, even the most solid ones. Now, identify what you think is a limit for you and challenge it. Number 3, set goals. Now, there's nothing more typical than having a big dream and then feeling overwhelmed, anxious, and delaying that decision. So it is better to set small, feasible goals with feasible dates that you can achieve, and then start marking these milestones along the way. It is proven that this practice generates more strength and confidence in ourselves, which obviously is going to reinforce our motivation as well and the desire to go for more. It's what I like to say, it's not over until it's over. You can do it. And number 4, external support. There's so much information, so much to do, many criteria to define, options and decisions to be made. Along the way, fears attack, vices arise, limiting beliefs arise, and then many times we feel the need to abandon a project because it's too much. Now, for these and for other reasons, it is advisable, actually I would say it's even necessary, to have some support, external support. If it is a career coach, obviously better. Someone outside for you who is not going to judge, but is going to guide you and encourage you in those moments of ups and downs. Final thought, allow yourself to be part of that dynamic of the world. If you feel that it's time for a change, identify the best option for evolution, define your personal values, make your list of competences and define your preference, and most importantly, act. Dare to create a change in your professional life that allows you to improve your current conditions, especially to keep your mind active as well and to ensure that you create value wherever you go. Prepare that professional evolution you deserve. Is definitely possible. Send you a big kiss, and I'll see you in another episode for more on mental programming for success.